Now, Parsis are usually depicted as a very well-to-do community, but this was not so. We came as refugees, we came very poor. We mixed with the poorest of the poor. In fact, we had completely forgotten our religion until about 1499, when a certain Changa Asha came and he retaught us our religion. He gave us our Sadra and Kasti, he gave all the people over there, and he sent priests to Persia with questions to bring back answers on religion. These were called the Rivayats. And these questions and answers on religion continued for a period of 300 years. Obviously, we had no personal law of our own because we had completely forgotten our religion. But in the early 1800s, we were governed by a panchayat, that is, a committee of 5. And their method of controlling the community was by beating of the shoe. And they got special permission from the British to enforce this system of punishment. Now, occasionally they would issue bandobas. That is, these are the new laws for the community. And the bandobast of 1830 is published in this book. It says that Parsi men and women were having affairs with Parsis and people of other communities, and all the children born in out of these affairs were being admitted into the community. The Parsi panchayat wanted to stop this, but it did not happen. That raises the question, why were Parsi men and women having so many illegitimate children? Well, the answer was threefold. First and foremost, child marriage had become a norm. So people were married off at the age of 3 and 4, and later on when they became grown up, they found that they were not compatible. And divorce is an expensive procedure, long drawn, so they would just drift apart and they lived their own lives. So the children born out of these affairs were not legitimate, they were illegitimate. Secondly, prostitution was an official profession at that time. The census of Bombay of 1860 had registered 41 Parsi prostitutes. And all children born of prostitutes are accepted into the community and the religion. Our Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act of 1865 had a very, what shall I say, peculiar provision, especially for men. They said that bigamy is sex with a woman other than a prostitute. So men were given the official right to visit prostitutes. Well, Parsis were traders. They amassed great wealth, but this came at the personal cost. Often they would go abroad, they would stay for 7 years, they would have to sign a contract saying they cannot leave before 7 years. They'd make 3-4 voyages like that. So maybe 28, 30 years of their lives they would spend outside the country. Very often they would have a second family over there. The Special Marriage Act may be the cause of the problem. I'll just give you a little short history on that. In 1865, we had our first Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act. Here a Parsi could marry a Parsi. In 1872 was the first Special Marriage Act, where two people of different faiths could marry. But they had to sign a declaration saying that they have separated themselves from the religion. They are not connected with their religion anymore. So at this stage, a Parsi could marry a Parsi, or they could marry under the Special Marriage Act and give up their religion, or there was a third alternative, they could convert to the one spouse's religion and marry under the personal law. Rati Petit converted to the Muslim religion and married Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And Suzanne Bray converted to the Parsi religion and married Ratan Tata. Now, in 1954, a new Special Marriage Act was made. And by this act, a Parsi man could marry a non-Parsi woman and they could both maintain their faiths. So now only intermarriage became a possibility and the children of intermarried couples became a reality, legitimate children. So there is no age-old custom regarding intermarried women and their children. It was only possible after 1954. Now, there's one more flaw in this thing, because in 1936, we had our second Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act. 1936. In this act, a Parsi man could marry a Parsi woman, yes, but Parsi was defined in this act. was defined as a Parsi Zoroastrian. This was the first time in all these years that the word Parsi was defined as Parsi Zoroastrian. And there was also a clause saying how you could cease to be a Parsi. You could cease to be a Parsi by converting to another religion. So in effect, who is not a Parsi is also defined by this Special Marriage Act. Very often, who is or is not a Parsi is defined by that old judgment of 1905 and 1915. At that time, the priests had done the religious ceremonies of conversion of Susan Bray and of the Navjot of Bella. But the judge decided that though conversion is a tenet of the religion, and yes, a child of a Parsi mother can be initiated into the religion if she wants to, but they decided to differentiate between the words Parsi and Zoroastrian. They said Parsi is a race or caste and Zoroastrian is a religion. This was in 1905, 1915. On 1936, our Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act doesn't give any creed to race or caste. It only says religion. That a Parsi is a Parsi Zoroastrian, and you cease to be a Parsi by not being a Zoroastrian.